Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the three groups that I think I fall in. First one is athletes, athletic. Growing up, I've done a lot of sports. I've done volleyball, basketball, dance, gymnastics. I did flag football for a little bit. And because of that, I do feel like I fall into an athletic group. Another group I fall in would be a nerdy group, which is ironic because nerds and athletes are usually two completely different groups, but I do feel like I fall into that group because I like a lot of what one would call nerdy hobbies, and that is I play a lot of video games. I love Harry Potter, I love Marvel, and I love Star Wars, and I do read a lot of comic books sometimes. So I do feel like that is another group I fall in is the nerdy group. And the last group that I think I fall in would be because of my race, the Hispanic group. I am Mexican, so I feel like therefore I fall into the Hispanic group automatically because I was born into a Mexican family. So the next question is, how have these groups shaped your identity? Being an athlete, I feel like has come with a lot of benefits because whether people admit it or not, people lean more towards athletes. For example, in PE, people are always going to pick the more athletic people. And I feel like that has always been a benefit to me. I've made a lot of friends because of athletics. I have learned a lot of things from playing sports that school can't necessarily teach you, and I've become a lot healthier because of it. As for being a nerd, so to say, I don't think that it's interesting because I feel like being a nerd didn't bother me so much now because, yeah, I like nerdy things. There's nothing wrong with that. It more bothered me when I was younger because people would call me a nerd only because I wore glasses. I wore glasses a lot when I was younger because I needed them. And people would call me a nerd just because I wore glasses. And I think that's a little silly because I got called a nerd more for wearing glasses than I do now by liking nerdy things because I don't feel like I look like a nerd. I wear contacts, so I don't feel like I look like a nerd, but I do like a lot of nerdy things. So I think I just come to realize that your hobbies and the way you look just really shouldn't define you. In what ways have these groups shaped your worldview? Like I said, I feel like being athletic has just made me I would not be who I am if it wasn't for athletics. I feel like you learn a lot in sports that you don't necessarily learn in school, such as like hard work, determination, and working well with others. Like, I love athletics, and I will definitely put my kids in any sport that they want when they're younger because I feel like it's important to helping you become more independent and confident in yourself. And as for the whole nerd thing, I think I've just come to realize that your looks, just because you look a certain way, doesn't mean you should be stereotyped a certain way. For example, like when I was younger, I wore glasses, and I was called a nerd just because I wore glasses, you know? So truly, your hobbies and the way you look shouldn't define you. And lastly, for being Mexican, I feel like I think that's just, I've always been okay with being Mexican with my race. I felt good about it because I didn't let it bother me. And I feel like that's very important because some people are discriminated before their race, but I think our differences make us who we are, and we should only learn to become more comfortable with this so that we can better explore and become confident within our race. And yeah, thank you.